Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This, of course, is another anime reaction video. Today, we're going to be getting over into more of Gintama, episode 56, 57, the last two episodes before the long-awaited, much-anticipated Benizakura arc. And if you're not familiar, if you didn't know, the game plan for that is I'm going to react to how it was in the TV anime originally first. So that's like the 4 episodes, 58 to 61, and then maybe a week or so after, I plan on reacting to the movie. I'm gonna do both, but I'm not gonna do it too close together, because I'll never be able to see the story of the arc for the first time a second time. But at the very least, hopefully by a week later. Sorry, I got like an email, but hopefully after about a week, I'll at least forget some of the details. And I know there's gonna be I've heard there's additional jokes added into the scene, also the cameos to future characters, and I will be skipping the post-credit scene because even though I've heard it's good, I've also heard that it's pretty spoilery. So one of you in the comments, write it down somewhere to remind me at some point way off in the future, I don't know how far, but to remind me to go back at some point and look at the post-credit scene, because apparently it's good, but again, spoilers. So either way, that's the plan for that. And also in the week between the Benizakura arc reaction for the TV and then the movie, about the week in between, I'll obviously continue doing Gintama. I definitely want to finish Scissor 7 season 3, and then after that, I should probably finish Haikyuu. I should probably start and finish Haikyuu season 4. And then by the 17th, if I can finish Haikyuu by the 17th, which I probably can't, but if I can, that would be pretty good, because then I could go straight into Record of Ragnarok. And then at that point, I think I'll try Eden Zero. I don't know. I'll figure it out in the future, but those are the kind of the rough draft of the plans I have for the future. With that all being said, let's get into these episodes. As always, link in the description to either Pixel Train or BitChute, where you can find the full uncut reactions. Go ahead and watch them there, and then come back to YouTube for discussion. Okay, so this episode was a really interesting Shinsengumi focused episode, and I really enjoyed seeing the interactions. Seeing more interactions between Shinsengumi members. I mean, obviously, the main one was Hijikata and Sogo. They're always a lot of fun, just hearing them casually threaten each other like that. And honestly, if there weren't cases where they legitimately tried to kill each other, mostly Sogo trying to kill Hijikata, I would say that they're probably like the best of friends, because you can be like. I mean, I guess it depends on the people, but at least for me, you can tell somebody's two people are really close to each other where they can very casually poke fun at each other or threaten each other or something like that, because you're not being serious, you're just hanging out, banter with your friends or whatever. But maybe that is the case with them, maybe it's not, because obviously, at least it very much seems like Sogo actually just wants to kill Hijikata. Because in real life, all the things that Sogo's done, all of the shit Sogo has attacked Hijikata with, would definitely have killed a normal person if this were realistic. But anyway, it was also great to see another episode where the main three characters of this entire series sort of took a back seat to other characters doing their own thing. They got to do a little bit, but again, they were mostly just there for jokes every once in a while. They didn't really have any real effect on what was going on in the story. And what I really enjoyed was how they were potentially setting up some stuff in the future, because I heard Benizakura would be what people classify as the first serious arc in Gintama, and considering the ED has a lot of focus on Shinsuke, and makes me think that he'll be involved with the Benizakura arc, and maybe because we still have one more episode before that arc starts, episode 57, but the fact that which episodes was it? It was 51 and 52. They introduced the blind samurai guy. I forget his name, but he was really cool. And in this episode, they're introducing Tsunpo, who is another guy. Well, actually, now that I think about it, the blind samurai, I don't think he explicitly said anything about Shinsuke, but I think it was like heavily implied. But this guy, he was straight up saying, he was straight up like thinking about what things related to Shinsuke, basically, and he's also the agent of Otsu, which is a really interesting development. I'm interested to see where that's gonna go, and so now either this Benizakura arc is either going to be a lot about like Shinsuke and other people from his like sort of group, and we're gonna learn about the one or both of the last two members that are gonna be involved with him in episode 57 or over the course of 58 through 61. I have no clue, but all I know is that what the fuck? Okay, so I've been watching AVI files this whole time for Gintama, but now starting with episode 60, it's gonna be MKV files. Okay, that's interesting. Whatever, not important, but that's just something that I was like thinking about. My favorite joke from this episode was definitely when they were trying to stall for time with the terrorist group by pretending they couldn't hear them, and then the sign that said your writing is too small. That was pretty funny. This was another really cool episode. I had a lot of fun watching this, and again, setting up things in the background to potentially be a part of like main conflicts and storylines in the future. So I'm really excited. But that's pretty much all I had to say about this episode. So I'm gonna get started here with episode 57. 1,000 yen bills. That's like what? $10 around ish, 10 USD. So it's probably only like a couple thousand USD in there, which I mean is still pretty good considering you don't make like any money, but it's nowhere near the 3 million yen you were thinking, which is like what he was thinking it would be like 30,000 USD or something, somewhere around there. Jeez, I feel kind of bad for them. They never have any money, but they had 2 jobs in a row where they were at least paid something, right? I mean, it was never disclosed how much, but Otsu paid them. She paid them up front, didn't she? And then they got paid for this job, so that realistically should have been more. Not only are Sakamoto and Gintoki old friends, but also they did risk their lives for it. And Sakamoto's group has probably got a lot of money, and they got back the money from the Aoki Corporation. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, as I was saying, I thought this episode would be more like set up for Benizakura, but I guess then technically it would be a part of Benizakura. But you know what? It could have even been the end, other than this preview, which I'm not watching. But for the Benizakura arc. But whatever, because next up is Benizakura arc. That's really interesting. I'm interested to see where it goes. So we didn't get any more characters from the ED that show up after Shinsuke. So we have the 2. And that's only assuming if Shinsuke Takazuki is like a main player in the Benizakura arc. I have no clue what this is about to be about. But anyway, that's not something I need to worry about right now. I'll get to that at some point. But anyway, it didn't really... I'm really surprised that they decided to bring back the eye patch dude with his henchman from that one episode when Gintoki was just trying to find a fan because it was too hot. I'm surprised they're back. And the Just Tank, there was so many good like callbacks to like other things in this series. Like bringing back the Evil Corporation, bringing back the Justaways and the Just Tank. And then of course the classic Neo Armstrong Cyclone Jet Armstrong cannon. Can never forget. It's one of the most powerful weapons known to man. Could probably one-shot Goku even. It's literally the strongest thing in history. Also, that was kind of a fun little thing. At least, as far as I know. As far as my interpretation, because I don't think they said it outright. They were just implying it. But implying that, because realistically, if Sakamoto was taking apart the gun, he would have noticed that it only shoots the flag out. So, my interpretation is he's actually not... He has like a dumb facade of like I'm sure some of it is genuine, but some of it is probably like on purpose, just pretending to be like an idiot. So he's like not as suspecting, but also so he can have the facade of like being super happy and whatever, despite his past, I guess. So he was putting on sort of like, I'm an idiot. I'm, instead of using the gun like you would normally, like shooting people, I'm taking it apart, and I'm actually making a tracker so that my people can find me. Though it also could have been a case that it was always a tracking device. It was never meant to be used as a gun to like kill people. You know what I mean? Mutsu gave it to Gintoki to fire it if they found Sakamoto and got into trouble, and that would probably be part of why it only shot out the whatchamacallit, the little flag on it, stand firm. So when they shot it, the trackers just stay where you are, we're coming type thing. But man, it really has been too long since we saw Sakamoto, because Gintoki's usually always the person annoying other people. Like with Katsura, he's always calling him Zura. Their interactions. There's always a Zura janai Katsura da type moment with Gintoki and him. Same thing with Hijikata. They like annoy each other, but in their relationship with Sakamoto, because of how just like Gintoki's a carefree guy, and so is Sakamoto. But I would say Sakamoto is even like more like extremely carefree compared to Gintoki. So it's just like a fun little dynamic, because like Gintoki also really annoys Shinpachi. So it's really interesting to see someone of a dynamic between Gintoki and another person, where Gintoki is completely on the receiving end of like the annoying, like Gintoki's always getting annoyed by Sakamoto getting his name wrong, and it's not like a back and forth between two like careless guys. It's literally just Sakamoto's pissing Gintoki off, and he can't really do anything about it. So that's really funny. I like it. But they do have their moments where they work well together, like where they're really happy with each other. When they were drinking sake together, and then when they tried to do their little attack, but they bumped heads, which I thought might have been part of the plan. It's just to look like two idiots so that they lure in the enemy and then beat the shit out of them. But it looks like that wasn't even planned. But all right. Other than that, pretty good, pretty standard episode of Gintama, and I'm really interested to see how the Benizakura arc is going to play out when I get to that. But with that all being said, if you watch at the very end of this video, thank you very much. Make sure to press the like button if you enjoyed, and subscribe, hit the notification bell, so you don't miss out on a single upload of Gintama in the future, especially because Benizakura arc is coming up soon. And then about a week after I upload that, I'll be uploading the reaction to the movie remake of the Benizakura arc. So be tuned in for that. Peace.